Hello guys, I hope you all can see me, and if you can see me and if you can hear me, then please let me know in the chat. I didn't see the chat now. Hey Rahul, hey Sonali, hey Siddhas, hey Varun, hey everyone, hey Raj, hey Vipin, hey Krishna. Hello everyone, hello. I hope you guys can see me and as well as hear me. Yeah, I'm good, Krishna, I'm good. So, shall we begin? Give me a thumbs up or give me, say yes, say yes. Say yes if you can see me, as well as hear me. Is it still echoing? I mean, is my voice? Give me a second. I don't think it should. It should not echo. Echo is coming. Is it still coming? Like, is it good now? Is it good? Yes. Yeah, Rohit, it'll be like I'll try to give as much as I can in this time. So yeah, perfect. Hi. Hello everyone. Echo issue. Let me just change the mic. Let me know if the echo issue gets resolved. Full course of development. Not exactly a complete full course, but yeah, the basic and the important aspect will get covered. Echo is coming fine now. Still coming. No. Parent and child. Okay. Just a bit. It's fine. Yes. Is it fine? I hope the echo is fine now. I think I should not waste much time and then go ahead. Better. Rahul, is it better? Aviral? I listen to you, Aviral. Tell me, is it better? Now, okay, it's okay now. Not bad, okay. It's better now. Good, great. Salesforce Thor, big fan. Let's make a team, man. You're Thor, I'm Hulk. Get connected with me, Bhavna. Fine. Little bit still there. I don't think I'll be able to help you out with that, but let's move on. Let's move on. I'll try to solve this tomorrow, but I don't want to waste today's time trying solving it. So let's move ahead. Perfect. So let's talk about SOQL. SOQL is basically structured object query language. It's simple. In Salesforce, if you want to write down a code, you need to write down it in Apex, and whatever the data which is stored into the database. So if you want to fetch anything out from the database, specifically from a particular object or related objects, I would say. Related objects, if you want to fetch something out from the database and if you want to use that inside your Apex code, then in that case you write down a SOQL query. It's that simple, right? SOQL is basically used to fetch the records out from the database which are stored into a particular object, and it's like very similar to SQL or SQL, whatever you guys call it, which is there in other databases. So yeah, I'll just jump right into where you can actually write down so where you can actually write down the SQL query in order to fetch the database. So there are two places to do that. Number one, of course, and obviously, the Apex code. So I have opened a developer console, and I hope you all know how to open a developer console. You just go to the setup, like this, and click onto the developer console. And after clicking onto it, this is a window that you will get. And inside this window, there are two places where you can write down the SQL query. Number one is inside the Apex code, and number two is the query editor, which is provided to you over here, right? So inside this query editor, you can write down any query, and you can just execute it from here using this button, like in the bottom left. And when you're gonna execute this, you're gonna get the result in here. So that's what happens. So this is the place where you need to write down the SQL queries. But before writing down the SQL queries, there is one thing that we need to do, and that is to actually understand and learn how to write down SQL queries, right? So here's a simple example that I have created in order to explain you how to write down a SQL query, right? So SQL query again starts with select statement, and it's exactly similar to the select statement of SQL or SQL. There's no such difference. So you write down select. So every SQL query will begin with a select, and this is how you need to write down. So you need to write down select, and by the way, it's not case sensitive, so you can just write down like anything. Then you need to write down the field API name list. Field API name list is basically like, let's say for the account object, if you want to get the name field for a particular record, and you also want SIC code or something like that, or phone number or email or something like that. There's no email field on account, but let's say there is. So in that case, you need to write down all the fields that you want to fetch, or the field values of that particular record that you want to fetch from the database, separated by a comma. So I'm gonna tell you all about that later on in the next examples. So yeah, but like first is the select keyword or select statement that you have to write down, then the API name of the fields that you want to fetch, and then the from keyword, right? And after from, you have to write down the object's API name, right? So if you want to get the data, or if you want to get the records of account object, then in that case you need to write down account's API name in here. And if you want to get the data of student object, then in that case you need to write down student object's API name in here. So that's basically what you have to do. Meanwhile, let me check in the comments what exactly is going on. I'm god of Salesforce Lightning. Okay, great. Please explain the difference between Lightning. Lightning we'll talk about later. Lightning, both are different methodologies. So, okay. I should move on, I guess. So yeah, this is exactly what it is. So a simple example of a SQL statement is select name from account. So that's what it is. And let's just copy this and paste it in here. Select name from account. So we are writing it down in the query editor, where we just write down the queries in order to test it whether the query is running fine or not. And if we'll just click on execute, we'll get the result in here. So here are all the account records that are there inside my database with the name fields value. So this is how a basic SQL statement is written down. So that's what happens. Now, yeah, so that's how you need to write down a select statement or a basic SQL query. Now let's move on. I'm gonna be, I'm not gonna take much time from all of you guys. I have to cover a lot of the things in a very short span, because today there is a Choti Diwali kind of stuff that is happening all over in India specifically. That we have to light the torches of our phone or a torch or diyas specifically, and turn off all the lights. So I think you guys will be like, yeah, you guys will prepare for that. So I'll try to wrap it up as soon as possible by 8:30 or by 8:45. I'll try to wrap it up. So yeah, querying records from custom objects again. So this is something that this is what I did for a standard object. So like the API name of standard object is similar. There's no difference of the in the API name from the name specifically for account. But when it comes to custom objects, you just need to write down select statement, and then the field that you want to query, and then the from statement, and then the object API name. And like when it comes to student object that I have created in my org, the API name is student _ C, where _ C stands for custom, right? So if I'm gonna just copy this and I'm gonna just write it down in here like this. This is how it's gonna work. So I've got 5 or 6 basically, 6 student records inside this student object, and the name field values are following. So that's how it works. I hope that makes sense. Now, if you want to, so this was a very basic, very simple SQL query, which we like obviously, I mean, which we generally do not write down at all. But this is important in order to explain you, the usage, or in order to explain you how to write down an SQL query, or what is the basic syntax of writing down an SQL query. Now, if you want to query multiple fields together, then in that case, we need to write it down like this. So select name. So name is again a field inside the account object, and the another field which is there in in account object is number of employees. So if you want to fetch multiple field values of a record in an object, then in that case you have to write down all those fields API names separated by a comma. So number of employees is second thing that you need to write down, separated by comma. Then you have to write down active underscore C. That's the third field which is there in account, and it's a custom field, and that's why I have written down it as underscore C. So that's how you need to write it down. Now if I'm gonna just copy this, and if I'm gonna just paste it over here, it'll execute. Yeah. So these are all the accounts which I've got inside my org, and these are the number of employee field values. And this is the active status. If it is checked, then it is yes, and if it is not checked, then it is no. Right? So that's what it is. Similarly, if I want to query multiple fields together from student object, this is how I need to do it. I just need to write down name, and by the way, name is not compulsory every time. It's your choice if you want to write down.
I guess you can hear me.
Okay. Yeah. So name is not compulsory every time. You can just write down the whatever field value that you want to portray over there, or that you want to fetch from there. So even if you do not write down name, it's fine. But I am writing it down just like that. So I'm just gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it in here. And yeah, inside this student name underscore C is a custom field inside a custom object. So whatever is custom, if the field is custom, you'll have to append it by underscore C. If the object is custom, you'll have to append it by underscore. See, that's how you need to do it. Student email, again a custom field. So yeah, that's how it goes. Now just execute this. There you go. These are all the student records that are there, and these are the names of the students, and yeah, these are the email IDs. So that's how it goes. I hope it makes sense to everybody. Yeah, Ashish Chaudhary, I'm going to post this recording on my channel as well. Once it will be gone, once it will be, what should I say? Once the live streaming is going to be done, I'm going to be posting it on the channel as well. So yeah. And by the way, I forgot to tell you guys, at the end of this live stream, I'm going to be giving I'll be giving a T-shirt of Salesforce Hulk away. So yeah, I mean you can. Yeah, I'll be giving Salesforce Hulk T-shirt to any one of the winner. So stay tuned. Perfect. Now, so that's one thing. Now, this is another thing. Like if you want to query another field, this is something. Yeah. So this is another example where I have not used name field. So I've written down select student name. There is no name field which I've written down. Registration fees from student underscore C. So that's what it is, and I'm gonna execute it. So yeah, there you go. Without the name field, also it works. Now, one thing that all of you will try and which will definitely not work is select star from account, or select star or asterisk from student or something like that. So let me tell you very, very honestly, this asterisk thing is not going to work out in SOQL. All the fields will you'll never ever be able to query all the fields together using this asterisk. Okay, so this asterisk or this star basically means all the fields which are there in that object in SQL or SQL. But in SOQL, it will not work. If you don't believe me, let's just copy paste it and then test it. Execute. Unknown error parsing query. Right? So that's how it goes. Now let's talk about the different clauses that we have in SQL. So clause is basically a keyword with the help of which you'll be able to filter out the records which you'll get from the database while querying a particular record. So let's say, let me just give you an example. So if you want to query a record or query the accounts where, so yeah, let's say if if a business user wants the list of accounts which have number of employees greater than 50. So then in that situation, you'll write down the query select name from account. But all the records of account object will show up. And that's a problem. And if that's a problem, then in that case, how you'll be able to filter that out? So for that, there is a clause called as where clause. Where clause is basically used to specify a simple condition after your SQL query, with the help of which you'll be able to filter out the records which the query will provide, or yeah, which will the records which will be fetched from the query. So that's what it is. Now, so yeah, this is a simple example. Select name from account where number of employees is greater than 50. So if number of employees, which is a field in account object, so all those account records which have number of employees field value greater than 50 will only be the one which will be fetched, not the rest of the ones. So all what you need to do is we just need to copy it and then just paste it over here and then just execute it. So yeah, 105 total 105 records are there in which the number of employees value is greater than 50. If I am going to write it down as 150, then in that case there are only 32 account records which have the number of employees field value as which is greater than 150. And if I'm just going to remove this where clause, then in that case there are total 120 records. So you can just see what difference does it make when we use a where clause. It's basically to filter out the records which you're fetching from a particular query. So that's what happens. Now, except where clause, so after where clause, you write down the conditions, right? Whatever condition you want to execute onto the records which are which are being fetched by that particular query. So if this is true for a particular record, that record will be fetched. And if this condition is false for a particular record, that record will not be fetched. But what if I have multiple conditions that I want to put it over here? Then in that situation, I'll be able to use or and. So if I have two conditions, like let's say I want account records where the type is equals to prospect and rating is equals to hot. So in the and not and the rating is equals to hot or the rating is hot. So basically, I'm looking for accounts where type is prospect or the rating is hot. So in either of these situations, the record should be fetched. So in that case, I'm going to put or between the two conditions. So this is the first condition that I have, type is equals to prospect and rating is equals to hot is the second condition. And between these two conditions, I can put or. And I can put as many conditions that I want, like between them. Or yeah, I mean in after a where clause, and I can put as many ors as I want, and I can make a combination of or and as well. So that's possible. So let's execute it. Execute. So there are only 7 records out there which have got the type as prospect or the rating as hot. Only 7. Now let's talk about another condition in which we have got and. So we are looking for account objects record where type is equals to prospect as well as rating is equals to hot. So in this situation, we're just gonna copy this and just gonna paste it. So there were 7 records earlier, and now after putting and, let's see how many are there. 0. There is no record in which the prospect is equals to the type is equals to prospect and the rating is equals to hot. Let's change something about it. Let's go to the account record. Let's go to any of the account record. Oops, sorry. cells. Accounts. Let me change this Acme to private limited, right? Now I don't want to change the name, I want to change the complete record. Edit. So I'm going to change what exactly? Type. Where is type? Type is equals to prospect as well as the rating is equals to hot. So where's the rating field? Rating hot, yeah, rating is already hot. So let's save this. So after saving this record, let's go back and execute this query again. I can't see any change in here. Yeah, Acme to private limited. So that's how it works, right? Give me a second, guys. So yeah, this is how it basically works. So I hope you got what I was trying to explain you in here in basic SOQL. Now, without wasting further time, I should just move on to what other things that I want to explain. So now, up till now, I was only give me a second. So up till now, I was only explaining you guys how to write down a query inside like the query editor. But to be very honest, you're not going to write down enough queries or a lot of queries inside your query editor. Where you're going to write down your this queries is going to be your Apex code. So now let me explain you how and where you need to write down these what do we say? Yeah, these SOQL queries. So yes. Now, so yeah, here's a simple program that I want to explain you guys. So whenever you want to write down an SOQL query or like an SOSL query, you need to write it down inside the square brackets, like this. This is a square bracket which is ending, and this is the opening one. So whenever you want to write down like any type of query, SOQL or SOSL, inside the Apex code, you need to write it down under or inside the inside the what do we say this? Inside the square brackets, yeah. So all what you need to do is just write down whatever query you are writing down inside the query editor over here. Now, how to see its result? Or how to actually use the records which are being fetched from an SQL query. That's exactly what I'm going to explain you in here in this particular program. So, like an SQL query basically returns a list of accounts or list of that particular object or list of that particular S object, I would say in Apex programming language terminologies. If you guys do not know what exactly is an S object, then please go check out the video of S object on my YouTube channel. I've already created one. So it's gonna be like, so this SQL query is gonna return a list of queries or a list of S objects, which will basically be the type of the object or the S object on which we have queried the records. So yeah, ACC list will have all the records that are being fetched from this what do we call it? This particular query. So this is how we need to store it inside ACC list. Now we can iterate this list using a for loop or a for each loop. So first I'll explain you how this for loop works. So I am just initializing. I think you all know how a for loop works. So initially in the for loop's first parameter, I'm passing in like I'm creating an integer I variable, passing its value as 0, and it will increment by 1 with the help of I plus plus till the size of the account. So that basically means if there are 100 records which are being fetched by this query, then it will run 100 times this code. The code which is written under these curly braces will get executed 100 times. And if I am so if there are 200 records inside this SQL query, then this code inside this SQL inside these curly braces will get executed 200 times. So that's exactly what will happen. Now, that's how it basically works. So this is a simple type of loop that you can write down, but in Apex we've got for each loops as well, which are simply like this: account A and ACC list. And okay, by the way, I forgot to tell you what exactly this is. So system.debug basically helps us to print something on the debug logs, and inside it I'm passing ACC list as an I. So ACC list I will basically mean, so let's say, let me create something. So if this is the list, and these are the records that we have got, this one will be record 0, this one will be record 1, this one will be record 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So this is how it will work. So ACC list, if I write down ACC list 0 in here, that means the record which is present over here, right? If I write down, give me a second, ACC record, ACC list 1, then the record is this one. If I write down ACC list 2, then the record is this one. So this is basically how it works, and the list is basically, so this ACC list dot size thing is going to return a value 7. So the program is going to execute till I is less than 7. That means till 6, and it will iterate through all the records that are present here. So that's how it's going to work. And when it comes to for each loop, it's going to go like this: account A, ACC list, system.debug, ACC name is equal to a.name, and number of employees like this. So we can just print the name as well as the number of employees field in here. So let's just execute this program without wasting much time, right? So I'm gonna just write down SOQL class 1 dot my method. So this is basically nothing but a class that I've created and a starting method that I created on the name of my method. So I'm just going to execute this. Execute. Yeah. So see, this is how it is printing all of these things. So the first one was only printing number of employees. So these are the number of employees where there is null, it's printing null. And then account name is equal to main consulting, number of employees like this. So this is the next loop. This is the for each loop that we have done. So this is how it works. It's simple. So by this program, all what I wanted to explain you guys was that how to actually write an SOQL query inside an Apex code and how to actually use it. So I hope it makes sense. It's already 8:30. I just want to check with all of you guys. Are you able to understand what I'm trying to say? If yes, then just let me know in the chat. Echo is too high. Echo is too high. Lot of disturbance. It's already very close here.
Echo, okay. Is the echo problem solved now? Can you guys tell me? Is the echo problem solved? Yeah. Okay. I think I got what exactly is the problem is. So I'll just keep it yeah, keep it near me. Yes, perfect. Okay, okay. So sorry for the problem that you're facing. Yeah. No, it's still there. No, no. Is it still there? I don't know what's going on. I do like should I change my mic or still getting? Give me a second. Now I I wish it is solved now. Is it solved? I hope it is good now. Perfect. I don't think I need to use a mic now, so I'll just keep it away and we'll continue with it. So yeah, this is the first program that I was talking about, and this is how you need to do it. Now let's go to the second program. This is SOQL Variable Binding. So SOQL Variable Binding is a very important concept to understand, guys. Listen to me now very carefully. Give me a second. Page. So, yeah, variable binding. So inside variable binding, we're going to understand one thing. And that one thing will be what is that one thing? Yeah. So let's say that there is an Apex program, or let's say there is a condition that you have written down, and that condition is select a name from account where name is equals to Acme, right? This is a basic condition that you want to write down inside your program. But don't you think that this is a static value, and this will make no sense because what happens when your user is giving you an input inside a text field and you need to search that value inside your account name, right? So let's say that there is a form, and inside that form your user is just writing down a name, and whatever name that user is writing down over there, you need to search that record inside your database and display its field values in here. That's basically a module that you have to create. Now in this situation, if you're gonna just search Acme, do you think it's gonna be all right? No, right? Whatever the name the user is entering, it will always search Acme, and that's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. So in this situation, what you need to do is you need to actually write down a query which will take the value which is coming from this particular field, right? Give me a second, I need to check. So select name from account where name is equals to str. Whatever the value of str we are getting from this particular field is what we would love to like put in here. But that will not work in the case of square brackets, which will write down in the SQL query, right? So let me tell you why it's not going to work out. So if you're going to write down John like this is a static value. But if you want to put a dynamic value inside it, if you're gonna just write down str, and str is basically the parameter which is there in this particular method, which the user will be providing, or the value of which will be like will get by the user, and that will get substituted over here, and all the so the contact with that particular name will be searched, or with that particular first name will be searched. But this str will be considered as a field name or as a like keyword in here. If we really want to substitute an apex variable or apex variable's value, let me repeat it once again, guys, listen to it very, very carefully. If we want to substitute an apex variable's value inside an SQL query, then in that case we have to we have to add colon as a prefix to it, so that its value gets substituted. So if we'll get ram inside str, ram will get substituted over here. If we'll get sham inside str, the sham will get like substituted over here. If we'll get david in str, david will get substituted over here. Whereas in this case, it will always search the record where the first name is John, and that's of no sense. That makes no sense. So this is what a variable binding is. Whenever you want to bind an apex variable inside an SQL query, you need to always add a prefix colon before it. So that's all what you need to do. I hope it makes sense. Now let me just execute it. So SQL class 2, my method, echo free. Great. My method. Okay. So yeah, inside my method, I'm gonna just pass a value, David, let's say, and I'm just gonna execute it. Yeah, but I don't think we'll be able to get a value. Let's see what contact is there already in the database. We'll search accordingly. Arthur, right? Let's just print it, and I'm gonna just write down Arthur in here. Execute. What just happened? Oh, I didn't save it. Debug. Execute. So yeah, first name Arthur, last name Song, email asong@uog.com, right? So let's see if this information is right. Yeah, you can see asong@uog. Why all the other fields are not visible, like this phone number, this title and everything? Because we haven't fetched it. We have only fetched first name, last name and email. That's it. And ID is basically the record ID that by default gets fetched in every SQL query for a particular record. So that's what happens. Now if I want to search some other name, some other first name, let's see what it can be. Avi, let's say Avi is what we want to search. In that case, this program will print another value, will show another value of another record. So see, Avi Green, email green at UOG. There it is. So this is how it works. So this is all about SOQL variable binding, and I think I'm running out of time, so I should just wrap it up in here. I will not be able to go deep with this particular topic. So that's pretty much it about today's topic. And guys, it's a humble request from all of you guys to please share this lockdown learning series with a lot of people, so that they can also learn Salesforce development, and that too with me in a very short span. After this, I'll be doing two things. Number one, I'll be posting a challenge onto this particular video's description later tonight or early tomorrow morning, and the first person who gives a solution for that particular problem will get a Salesforce Hulk T-shirt from me. It will be shipped to you, and so that's the number one thing that I'm going to do. And all of the people, and guys, it's a request, please share it with all of the people. Let's make these quarantine or the lockdown days as an opportunity to learn and grow into the Salesforce ecosystem. And I'm going to be sharing what I'm going to talk about tomorrow, in another post. So make sure you're following me on all of these social media handles, which you're seeing over here, right? I mean, I don't know whether it is right or left, but yeah, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, of course the YouTube channel. If you guys haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, please make sure to do so. And the link the link of the challenge will be posted very soon. And some of the guys have asked me to give you as a to give you an assignment, or to do tomorrow, so that you can also practice this. So I'll definitely give you in the form of a challenge. So yeah, it'll come. And tomorrow's agenda is not something that I'll be sharing today. It'll get shared on all of these social media handles. So please make sure to connect with me over there. And the winner will also get announced over there only. So make sure that you're connected with me onto all of these handles. And yeah, just let's just make this lockdown a great opportunity for all of us. Now I think it's time for a little Q&A for 2 minutes, I guess. Till 45 I'll be available. So let's make it happen. Let your questions come in. And specifically related to SOQL, I would prefer. Yeah. Can we have some videos on Marketing Cloud and Pardot? Yes, Deepak will be having videos onto Marketing Cloud and Pardot, but that's that will have for one day. For 7 days, I think I'll be talking about Salesforce development. I'll be taking different topics. Like today, I took SOQL. Similarly, I'll take something else tomorrow. And challenge will be related to SOQL. Yes, the challenge will be related to SOQL. And yeah, on Marketing Cloud and Pardot, there's a day that I've selected. So don't worry. So like in the agenda, I've got all of these things: interview questions and tips for one day, certification tips for one day, Marketing Cloud one day, and and development videos onto different topics for 7 days. Definitely. I know it's out of topic, but which company are you working? I have my own consultancy and a development company named as Syntexa, CYNTEXA. I'm just gonna post a link to it over here. Just go ahead and check out our website. So this is the company that I work for, and I'm working as a chief executive officer for this company, and I'm also a managing director. Can you please upload lightning videos? We'll take a lightning like a day for lightning something as well, for lightning component or LWC, whatever you want to have. How do you use type of field when expression? I think this is like far off from now for all the other people, so I would skip that. I place of str we can use any variable name. Yeah, on the place of str you can use any variable name. Prachi, can we have joins in SOQL? Yes, that's what we call as relationship query. That's what we call as relationship query, right? Hi Shrey, please explain SOQL for loops. SOQL for loops. So you can just write down SOQL in here, right? I mean, so if this is the code in which instead of ACC list, just write down the query in here, and that's what is SOQL for loops. Give me a second. Batch, Apex, and Trigger. I'll take that as a topic as well. Tomorrow class timings 8 p.m. Every day it's going to be live at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. IST every day. Can we have a mini project kind session? I'm not sure whether we'll be able to have it or not. SOQL versus SOSL. Tomorrow, let's take it SOSL. Tomorrow's agenda, I think, will be SOSL. So, yeah, we'll do SOQL versus SOSL tomorrow itself. Deep and deep video on trigger and batch. Okay, we'll do that. Triggers will take care of triggers as well. How to fetch parent record which are not associated with the child. That's part of SQL query, and that's, I think, something which is a part of the challenge that I'm going to give you as well. From the results of SQL, what we run. What? I didn't got your guess. Can we have detailed video on SQL injection? No. Can you please explain SQL? Okay, I've done that. Videos on Apex triggers. Apex triggers will be done. Is there any benefits of doing so? For doing so, what? SQL, yeah, SQL for loops are basically used to reduce the limits, basically, governor limits. It reduces the governor limits. Please explain SQL. I think you're testing my knowledge, Salesforce Thor. Please. Any future plan of mini project session? I'm not sure. Maybe we can do it. Where should we post our solution? I'll give you all of the information over there. Great SOSL will be great. Shrey will have some advantage of writing SQL for loops. Will we have? Definitely Salesforce Thor. I've said it already. Thank you so much for your videos on Salesforce. It's really helpful. Can you please post videos on SQL queries used by BA to retrieve data? I mean, this is like, depends on what kind of data you want to fetch. You can just write down the SQL query by having the fields and everything. So that's what it is. I think it's time to light up the diyas and the torches. So let's all wrap it up. And I wish you a very, very, very safe and healthy lockdown or the quarantine days with a lot of learning and with a lot of opportunity to grow into Salesforce ecosystem. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. And let's meet tomorrow again at 8 p.m. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.